here we have the properties of shear and moment diagrams. So the following are some important properties of shear and moment diagrams. First, the area of the shear diagram to the left or to the right of the section is equal to the moment at that section. So if we are going to take, let's say, this point here, we take the area of this section in the left that is equal to, so in this case this is in this case this is WL square over 8. So this is WL over 2 here, and this is negative WL over 2 here. Now, the area of the shear diagram to the left or to the right of the section is equal to the moment at the section. So this area here is WL square over 8, and this is equal to that moment. And this area here is also WL square over 8, and this is equal to the moment. Now, the slope of the moment diagram at a given point is the shear at that point. So nabanggit ko sa previous na video that if we are going to take the slope at this point, it is just equal to the shear at that point. So meaning if we are going to take the slope at this point here, then this is just the shear at that point. Number 3, the slope of the shear diagram at a given point is equal to the load at that point. So the slope here, which is equal to W, is just equal to the intensity of the load. That is in number 3. Number 4, the maximum moment occurs at a point of 0 shear. So this is in reference to the number 2, no? So that the slope here is equal to 0. So meaning the shear here is equal to 0. And that is the location of the maximum moment, no? Where the 0 shear is located. When the shear diagram is increasing, the moment diagram is concave upward. So in this case, our shear diagram is decreasing, no? So we have our moment diagram which is concave downward in this case, no? So but if you have trouble in sketching whether it is concave upward or concave downward, you just remember the DYIX. If you haven't watched the previous video, pakitingnan na lang kung paano ginagamit yung DYIX. Topic 4.8, we have the deflected shape. So out of the moment diagram ay titingnan natin what would be the deflection. So in this case, the moment diagram is positive. So yung deflection natin is concave upward. And if negative naman yung moment diagram natin, then our deflection is concave downward. So yung tatandaan lang natin dito is the positive moment and the negative moment. So if we have the positive moment, no? So if you remember some positive moments, no, from the past, of course, what you do is to smile, no? So it's smiling. Now, if you remember some negative moment from the past, therefore sisimangot ka, no? So it's concave downward. Now, so let's try this. If you have this loading condition, if we are going to draw the moment diagram for this, so we would have this moment diagram. As you can see here, we have the negative moment and this is the positive moment. So meaning at this, if this is the moment diagram, no? So at this point wherein you have the zero moment, no? So ano yung sabi? If you have the negative moment, so sisimangot ka, so you're sad, and the deflected shape or the deflection is concave downward. Now if you have the positive moment, so you're smiling, and you have here concave upward. So with this loading condition, this would be the deflected shape. Now the location where the curve changes from concave downward to concave upward is the so-called point of inflection. So you have this equation y here is of course equal to f of x. Your first derivative, f prime of x, is the slope, no? So this is the slope of the curve. Now at y prime is equal to 0, meaning you have here the minima and the maxima, right? So you have them at the point where the curve, no, y prime is equal to 0. That's the location of the relative extremum or the minima maxima. Now if the y prime is equal to 0, that is the location of the point of inflection. Okay, so what if we have this loading condition? We have cantilever beam loaded here with the load P1 and the load P2. So if this is the moment diagram of this loading condition, then we have the negative moment here and the positive moment here. The location of the zero moment is the point of inflection, so meaning at that point you have the zero moment, no? So we have here negative, so that's sad. So we have here, so if fixed point, you have horizontal first before going sad, and then at this point here, that's the location of the point of inflection. It would change from concave downward to concave upward. So therefore at this point, so ito na yung magiging deflection natin. Okay, so what about yung kanina, no? So for this, as you can see here, you have the positive moment. So since we have here a positive moment, then at this point you would then have the deflection. So the deflected shape for this beam here is concave upward.